kind of the position of lost and confused. I had been introduced to different sites that were working with cognitive behavioral therapy. I just couldn't grasp it. It was like I wasn't connecting to it and something in the way to help me. And it was like I was going through Facebook and something popped up with Sisters Enchanted. Like it was meant to be there. It's just the weird, I can't even describe it. And it was talking about shadow work, which I know is Carl Jung, and he's also accorded with cognitive behavioral therapy. Started checking into it, going to some of your free classes. And right away I had this connection. I was able to start working through things and learning skills to help myself. And I just feel like everything started to get better from that.
We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. I am excited to bring a community member to today's podcast, to the magical conversations here at the Sisters Enchanted. I've been having a blast doing these. And today I am joined by a community member that I don't know as well as some of the others. So this is going to be exciting for me too. And I would like to welcome Jen Shirk to our podcast today. Hello, Jen.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Okay, I have to ask this. I didn't prep you with this question. When I put out a call for podcast guests, what made you put your name in to come be on the podcast?
I was listening to the other podcasts where you were interviewing other members of the community, and it was really kind of nice to hear who they are, their backgrounds, how they got involved in, or how they found it, and kind of get to know people almost like on a personal basis. You don't feel so out there so much.
Yeah.
Like the fear of saying anything, or like you might be the oddball out.
Oh my gosh, we're all the oddballs out at the Sisters Enchanted. That's what makes it so wonderful. Well, thank you for being here and just sharing your story and coming on the podcast, because it does take like a deep breath and some confidence to hit that button and get on here. So why don't you go ahead and tell everybody listening a little bit about you? I know that you've got some interesting things in your life. So share with us, who are you? And yeah.
Well, I'm Jen Shirk, obviously. This is going to be the tough part for me. I'm not good at introducing myself, but I'll give it a try. I currently reside in Southern Indiana. As I was saying, there's nothing on the walls behind me because I just moved. We can't find the boxes with the pictures. Or anything for that matter. I moved from, just recently moved from Wisconsin after being there for several years. Took this for work. As I was saying, I work facilities maintenance for Starbucks. So I will go from store to store checking to see if they need any maintenance needs. I handle calls that come in from stores, managers. And so it's been kind of a fun transition from the big city to small town. Literally everybody knows each other.
Well, I think that's a good thing then, that you're here on the podcast and putting yourself out there, because if everyone's about to know your business, you get a little more comfortable with everyone knowing your business.
Yeah, you take that chance.
So you were telling me, I asked you if you had any pets, and you were sharing that you had a couple of fur friends hanging
couple
around.
Is an understatement.
Yeah. So what do you got hanging around there?
So right on, actually, we're in the animal room, as I like to call it, the pet room. We have 6 guinea pigs that take up half a room because they're spoiled. We have a hamster, and then we also have 4 cats. So we had to get a really big house in order to accommodate this. And as I was mentioning, I had to travel with all of them at one time from Wisconsin to Indiana.
You're a brave person.
Yeah.
I already know that about you.
You can't even.
I know that to be true, that you are a brave person. All right. Well, so I know a little bit about you. I know who you are. I know kind of what you do, that you love animals. Tell me how it is that you ended up at the Sisters Enchanted.
To be honest, I was going through a real rough period in my life. Just some things really going on. Kind of the net position of lost and confused. I had been introduced to different sites that were working with cognitive behavioral therapy. I just couldn't grasp it. It was like I wasn't connecting to it and something in the way to help me. And it was like I was going through Facebook and something popped up with Sisters Enchanted, like it was meant to be there. It's just the weird, I can't even describe it. And it was talking about shadow work, which I know is Carl Jung, and he's also a court with cognitive behavioral therapy. Started checking into it, going to some of your free classes, and right away I had this connection. I was able to start working through things and learning skills to help myself, and I just feel like everything started to get better from that. Like it's hard to describe, but it was a very positive. It still is a positive experience. If I'm feeling down or something and I've been away for a while, I'll get on and just read the messages from the different members, and just to see that, I'm not the only one too has getting through things like this and starting on their path.
And I love that you shared that about the community, because people can participate at all different kinds of levels. Like some people show up to every live call and talk, and some people chat in the community but never come on camera, and some people don't do either really and kind of just hang out in the ether and
That's
observe.
me.
But so I love that you shared that, because I think that sometimes when we have access to all these different ways to access groups, whether it's video calls or community where you type and you don't use all of that, it can feel like, oh, well, I'm not really doing it. But those times that you just tap in, see something really great, and remind you that there is always this collective connection. It's always there. And just when you need it, get in there and, enjoy, and then go back on doing whatever you're doing before. So different ways for different people to participate,
Right. And it's for me to do this, actually, it's kind of like, now I can get on camera when you're doing, I still haven't got on camera there. It's like,
it is so funny that the podcast is your first sleep,
right.
but don't you worry.
Throw myself in.
Now I'll see your name on there and they'll be like, Jen, would you like to unmute?
Put the camera on. You got this.
Yeah. That's the thing though. If you don't want me to call on you, don't put your camera on, because whenever I can see someone's face, if I'm feeling like we need some participation, I'll just start calling on people. You're like, I happen to know you and your camera's on. So in you go. Yeah. That's the trick, is to keep your camera off. And I won't call on you then. So when you joined us in our programs, was there, you mentioned the shadow work. Is there something specific or in particular that you can point to that really changed for you, or, one, like a moment where you read something or heard something and kind of propelled an area of you or your life, your being?
I think it was after I started, and because I went right to the holistic witchery. Just kind of, I got really overwhelmed at first, and I had some idea of reading through the things on shadow work, archetypes, doing that, the Halloween. So it was like, it seemed to be all taking over me at once, but all of a sudden it just, I can't define a moment, because it just all of a sudden clicked. And it's like I felt a connection. There was this, you go from this, you're looking at words in a textbook to something you feel so spiritually connected to. Which, growing up, if you would have understand, I have a big background in science. So my other degree actually is in biochemistry. Everything is straightforward. You don't, and coming to this, you just start to really look into this and trust in yourself and open up, and just this, I can't even describe it. It's like just light just kind of said, this is where you're supposed to be. This is how you're going to get through what you need to get through. And like I said, from there, I just feel like everything has, has cleared up, and I've just feel things have been better. I guess is the best way to put it.
I really enjoy talking to people who have a science background. And just because I think that there are probably nobody listening to this podcast, but there are people who, definitely are just, I don't know, this is all just too much. And it's like, doesn't fit in the science box. But I think that, I don't know, we talk a lot about like intention and then your energy and also the very practical aspects of taking action and to create what you want in your life. And energy is science, I think, but I was an English major, so what do I know?
As long as you don't get that box and then there's like that little bit outside of a box, you're fine. But in their mind, it's like everything is concrete, it's an equation, or, you come into, like doing the holistic witchery, there's just, you can open up. It's not like you're just stuck with, this is how you handle this and that's straightforward, done.
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah.
Also, I was scared. I was very scared.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Tell me more about that.
Also when coming with that, there's like, I've heard other people talk about it. It's you seeing holistic witchery. Okay, holistic is natural. You see witchery. I'm not a witch, or do I have to become a witch? Is there a class, some kind of certificate I have to get? You kind of classify that growing up as that's just, make believe stuff, the Salem stuff. You're not in Harry Potter. So this was really an interesting learning experience to me, is how it applies when they refer to witchery. But I think, how I see it is just fun, just somebody, that's really in touch with life, with nature, with themselves, and wanting even then to apply that and help other people.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because it is one of the things, and we've sort of, I don't know, there's been points in time over the last like 5 years or so where we've certainly brought the name of the class to the table and said, is this the right name? Because we do think that it maybe makes people think about it in some other way that we don't intend it to be thought about. And I don't know, but there is, I think, just such a power in the word, and nothing else seems to fit either. And I don't know. So we keep it. But thank you for bringing that up, because it is something that I know a lot of people see it and kind of like, oh, wait a second. What exactly is this?
It's like that. It was actually some of the stuff I was reading and doing in the free classes was like, this is not witchery, what you would have defined it as. And I'm like, my parents lied to me all these years,
It's such a good one. Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. So you mentioned that the shadow work was the part that you dove into. Was that your favorite part of holistic witchery also, the shadow work?
I might be on a minor side of saying that it was, because it's really helped me work through what I need to work through on a continuous basis. It's not just a one-time thing. I'm constantly working through it. I think at the end of the day, if I'm running into some kind of something that I'm struggling with, just to sit down and to kind of work through things, even if it hurts, even if I'm just like crying by the end. Sometimes I'm laughing and smiling, going, I finally get it. That's been a great tool to help me.
Yeah.
Even, getting through days of work and things, I haven't really, I've played a little with tarot and things like, but this is the one I've kind of gravitated for, was the shadow work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure doing what you do for work too, with just so many needs, and prioritizing those needs and getting them done.
So many personalities.
Yes, I bet that there is definitely the days where you just got to sit down and weed through the feelings.
Which one is the right one?
Find yourself in there. I can see that for sure. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you some this or that questions, if you don't mind.
That's probably easier to answer these than what I was trying to.
You're doing amazing. All right. So the first question, this is a new question to my list. Are you it's very personal too. I don't know why I picked this question, but okay. Are you a person who needs total silence to sleep, or do you need some kind of white noise?
Total silence.
Yeah.
I am not. If you have a fan on, I'll be like, shut that off. I need total silence.
Oh my gosh, that's good to know. We can't ever share a room because I travel with a fan.
I've heard of it. I can't. My daughter does, but it's like
Yeah.
I'll have the window open at night and hear crickets, but I don't want a fan. I don't want, no, I can't. I just
My
doesn't work.
gosh. My family, we go to if we have to stay at a hotel room or something, we are those people who carry a fan into the
I've
hotel.
seen you people come in the hotels.
That's us because we're afraid the air conditioner will do that like intermittent shut off thing and then everybody will wake up.
Quiet.
Yeah, no
I could
quiet
see
for
that.
me.
That I could see.
um, do you like to be in, well, I might wonder what the answer will be to this. Do you like to be in one place? Are you like a homebody or do you like to be out and about traveling and seeing things or just getting out?
I like to do well, I'm a homebody for sure. But with my job, I have to be out traveling, quarterly.
Hmm.
As long as I see it as I'm out and I'm going home afterwards, that I'm fine. I mean, at one time I enjoyed getting out on the road and staying in hotels and doing different store visits. Now it's like I just want to go home. What stores are close to me? I don't even want to go shopping today. I'm fine being home. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a time for being home, a time for going out. And when you know your season, just lean into it. All right. This is one that I think I already know the answer to. Do you like tea or coffee?
believe it or not, coffee. Take a bet you didn't guess that one.
Yeah.
But I think I
Um,
said, it's not necessarily a certain brand of coffee I like. So
but you are loyal to the
I
coffee
am
through
loyal
and
to
through.
coffee.
That's what matters. Do you prefer tacos or pizza?
Tacos. And
Tacos.
that's what we're having for dinner tonight, ironically.
Oh, good choice. I like your choices. Do you like to read a book in your hands or do you like to listen to like an audio?
I have to have a book in hand where I can see visually because if I've got something and listening to it, I'm that person that's rewinding it every 5 seconds. Like, shoot, I missed that. Let's go back. Oh, shoot, I
Yeah.
missed it again. Let's go back. And I've do that 4 or 5 times before I'm like, forget it. I'll just go buy the book.
Well, you mentioned before that you don't really do this quite yet, but tarot or oracle cards based on what you know.
I've tarot, and I have used them for the spread, so I am starting to get used to them. I still have to use the little cheater to kind of decipher what I'm reading, but slowly getting there.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a clear understanding of Oracle right now.
Yeah. Oh, good to know. We can help you with that. So I'll add that to our list of things to add to the classes. I've got two more for you.
Okay,
Do you prefer pancakes or waffles?
waffles, because you got the little divots to put the
Yeah.
syrup
Make the perfect bite every time.
every time.
Every time. All right. The last one. So my question is, do you like to be on like near big bodies of water, or are you more of like an inland trees kind of person?
Inland trees kind of person.
Yeah.
I used to live when we lived up in Wisconsin. I was not even 5 minutes from Lake Michigan. As much
Oh,
as I'd
really?
like to swim, I didn't spend a lot of time there. I'd actually go further in and camping and just kind of sightseeing, things like that. I like
Yeah.
to be out in the woods.
Yeah. Me too. I like both. I don't know. This summer though,
In
I'm a
that
woods
little,
person.
yeah.
I'd pick woods this season I'm in. All right, Jen, do you have any like what's your any tip to give people for bringing some everyday magic to their lives?
Well, I think it's something we talked about in the beginning. So what individual they feel what they're comfortable with. It might not be something straightforward, like you mentioned, tarot in the morning. I actually, strangely enough, being now that I'm out in the middle of nowhere, can go out and look at the stars and the moon at night. And I feel really connected to that, and I'll kind of just use that energy to say, next day we're having a good day. I need this energy. You know, I really kind of seem to gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
It might not be the norm, but that's kind of what I feel helps me.
No, I think that's beautiful. I was just talking about that in a class earlier today about you like there's this tendency to think we need to go buy all this stuff, but really like nature and the sky is just right there
Right.
for all of us.
And I don't really have a whole lot of stuff, so I'm still like getting into it a little bit and feeling
Yeah.
what and I'm drawn to, but yeah, I can sit and just stare at the stars all night.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, Jen, thank you so much for doing this. I loved
Well,
hearing
thank you.
about your experience. And I hope you find all your boxes and paintings and everything or pictures and, whatever you want to put on your wall.
Something, just something behind me.
Very quickly. All right. Well, to all the listeners, if you want to learn more about any of our programs, you can head to the sistersenchanted.com and you'll find Jen in our community group. So now you're going to have to come say hello, Jen.
No,
And
absolutely.
and yeah, we'd love to have you. And don't let that witch word scare you away because it really is what you make it. All right. Thank you again, Jen. And to all the listeners, until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. There are new episodes every Tuesday. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.